Friend, boys and girls, can I have your attention, please? This is an absolute pleasure for me as chairman of this small club here, Spa GA, to welcome this victorious minor team here this evening. And especially the fact that we have two players and the captain, Liam and Dan O'Sullivan, on the team is extra special. And while it is a very joyous occasion, it's tinted with a small bit of sadness because of the fact that the death this morning of Owen Peter O'Sullivan, who's a current member of the executive committee here and a part of the field committee which looks after the grounds here, and Owen passed away this morning, so it's with a bit of sadness, so that we'll remember Owen. I'd like to welcome these boys here. That they were being exemplary there last Sunday and all through the whole championship, since we saw them on the first day of Owen Innes, the way they played as a team, and people that came on the team excelled, and that's, I think, even though there's great individual footballers in the team as well, they played as a team, and that's what brought us success. We were 20 years waiting for it, but it's all the sweeter, and I hope that we won't be waiting 20 years again for the same success. I'd just like to mention a few people in this club who have won honours before. We had Jim Gleeson, who was the Sigerson Cup captain, successful. His brother Mick won the National League Kerry as captain. We had Jody O'Sullivan, who was the last man to bring a major honours to this club, captain of the 1970 Kerry team who brought Sam to this club, and he's never forgotten, and his photographs are on the wall there inside. And we're delighted that Liam is the man who brings this cup back to the club at this time. We also have Paddy O'Mahony down there, an All-Ireland medal winner, many other medal winners in the 70s. Mike McAuliffe, who was captain in 1982 but unsuccessful in that role. So it's great to see that we have the Tom Markham Trophy back here, and one of our own, Liam Carney, as captain. I'm not going to keep you all night now because they had spent about 6 hours yesterday up on stages listening, and I think they're getting a bit weary from all the speeches and everything. But just brief words now from our Mayor of Killarney, John Giacometti, will speak first, please.
Thanks very much. I want to delay. I was told I had a good speech last night because it was a shot, so we're going to keep it the same tonight. Again, as Doris has said there, it's fantastic for Spa, and I'm delighted for Dan O'Donoghue and Liam Carney being girls from Knocknahoe. It's great. It was a great occasion for two local people like that. So I wish them and the club all the best in the future as well. Just, I suppose, George touched on it there, I suppose, the way they have been exemplary, and it has something that struck me last night, and again, a lot of people have said it to me, the way that they conducted themselves last night, and I suppose a lot of it is due to Jack and maybe Eamon, but I think it's a huge thing that they're being looked up to, and look at all the youngsters here tonight, how they carry themselves after a victory just as much as the victory itself. So I think there's huge credit due to the players and the management for the way they've conducted themselves and the example they're setting, and I think that's a huge thing for the club. So, look, I won't keep you any longer. I've said my few words, so all the best. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you, John Joe. And our representative from the county board is our own Ger Gallivan, Vice Chairman. He might say one or two words for you.
Good morning, Cohirdach Trevcom Spa, Cohirdach Kishti Curry, Paddy O'Sullivan. Gwini wish like at the Cardigan there. It's more on the Wurdumsa, Bianso, and not. Cogardagus, Kaki, Yena, or Rastrum. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be brief. Just on behalf of the county board, we'd like to congratulate the minor team who brought back the Tommy Markham Cup after 20 years. It was a fantastic achievement, great match on Sunday, and well done to everyone. I suppose It's great to be here in the Spa tonight, and you know, when you have two from your own club on a minor team, that's fantastic. When you have a captain and a vice captain, that's fantastic. But when you bring back the Tommy Markin and the All-Ireland medals as captain and vice captain, then you have a real year. So to Dan and Liam, well done to you, congratulations. As everyone said, and we'd just like to endorse that and thank the whole panel of minor players for their commitment throughout the year and for their exemplary behaviour, and especially over the weekend. You were a credit to everyone that was involved with you, a credit to your families, credit to the club, credit to yourselves. You were just absolutely fantastic, and on behalf of the board I thank you sincerely for that. Well done. Just, I suppose, Jack was appointed this year, and we all knew what Jack could do, as he said himself. Whatever about Mickey Hart going from minor to Much-21 to senior. Jack, we don't care what way you go, upside down or this way down, from senior down to minor, wherever you want to go. You were fantastic, and you did a fantastic job, and I congratulate you. Your background team of Eamon, Micheál O'Shea and John Galvin, you were a fantastic job, and to yourself, Jack, many congratulations. And to Christy Killeen, who was the county board man with Jack. Christy rang me there earlier. He had a funeral to go to. He hopes to make it, but he'll definitely meet up with the inside in town. So, oh, he's here. Sorry, Christy, I didn't see you. I did say what you asked me to say. So, so well done to Christy. Listen, it's great to be here. We're not going to delay you all night with speeches. So again, it was an honour for me to be here, back to my own club this evening. I thank Patrick for letting me say the few words. And of course, just like to acknowledge John Daly with me there on the back, our fantastic PRO, who's done a wonderful job, not only throughout the year, but absolutely over the moon with the last Scotland. Did a fantastic job. Thank you, John. So again, thank you very much. Thanks to Joe for having me here, and it's just great to see you all here, and hope you enjoy the evening. And again, to Liam and John and all the lads, congratulations. Kiribu.
Thank you, Joe. I'd now like to call in Tim Ryan, East Kerry Board Chairman. He might say a few words to you, please.
Okay. Very briefly, first of all, Chairman Gerard, Chairman of the Kerry County Board, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. On behalf of the East Kerry Board, it's a great honour to be here and to welcome home our victorious minors with the Tommy Markin Cup. First of all, I just want to compliment all the players, but in particular we're in Spa, so I suppose it's only right that we mention Liam and Dan this evening, maybe a small bit more above everyone else. It was a great honour to be in Croke Park last Sunday and see Liam rise the Tommy Markin Cup. It was one of the highlights of the day for me personally, because these two boys were outstanding in 2013 with East Kerry when we won the Minor County Championship, and they had a huge part to play in that victory. Also, there was a number of other Spa players that played an awful part in that, but the two boys were exceptional, and I'd like to acknowledge that here this evening. As Jack O'Connor said last night, and I'd have to concur with everything he said they were exemplary on the pitch and off the pitch, and I would agree with everything in that statement. The two boys, no problem whatsoever, as the other Spa players last year, but the East Kerry minors, there wasn't a problem with them, anything at all, no problem. And I think that was one of the reasons we had success last year, and I'm delighted that it was the Spa club that got the honour of the captain of the Kerry minors this year. So well done there. Just while I'm in Spa this evening, I just want to mention 2 officers from the Kerry County Board that when we got the word about a homecoming, East Kerry Board were the people that were trusted with the job of organising it, and we got huge cooperation, huge help and huge guidance from 2 officers from this club who were involved with the County Board. That was George Gallivan and John O'Leary, and I would like to take this opportunity to publicly thank them for all their assistance. I haven't much more to say, just to say to the minors, enjoy the moment. There'll be plenty occasions for the next couple of weeks. Visit everywhere you get the opportunity to, and enjoy it. All Ireland medals and titles are not easily won, so enjoy every minute that you get the opportunity to do it. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Tim. I'd just like to say at this point, I'd like to thank the East Kerry Board for bestowing the honour of captaincy on the Spa GA Club. We thank them for that. I'd like to call on the man who's responsible for the minor team in this club, Timmy Fleming, a man who's worn the Kerry jersey himself. Timmy will just say a few brief words to you, please.
Thanks, sir. I'll be very brief. Basically, congratulations to the management and the team. Absolutely outstanding performance. Again, what I'd like to say about Liam and Dan is they're absolutely fantastic role models for the rest of the young guys here in the Spa Club. Unbelievable. The amount of work that these guys have put in with the last couple of years on and off the field, in the gym, in their skills. Basically, they gave it everything they had, and I'm so thankful to think that they got an All-Ireland medal. And just as again, for the young guys in this club, this is what you can achieve when you put in a lot of hard work, a good attitude, a good commitment. And again, what 2 role models. Just look up to these guys, see what they've done, and there's no reason why you can't do it yourself. Okay, so thanks very much. All right.
Thank you, Timmy. Since Dan and Liam, when I spotted them around 6 or 7 years of age running around this club here, they were just 2 ordinary guys. But they, like Timmy said, that commitment they have put in and the attitude they have on and off the pitch is absolutely fantastic. And you know, 2 lovely lads, and all the time involved here. And even when they're training with Kerry, would come to the sessions here. Even when they were training there during the winter in October, where they were doing strength and conditioning training in there, and the 2 boys might be away training with Kerry or whatever, but they'll come back and they're always with the lads here and giving them the support. I'd like now to call on the captain himself, Mr. Liam Carney.
I suppose I said it all really in my speech last night. I'd like to take this moment really to thank people within the club that have been a great help to us throughout the year. I suppose Timmy Fleming and Jermaine, where would we be without them? Without the ambition in our minor team to put us on our own minor championship. We made history this year by going on our own. We're going on our own, and the development underage is great to see. And for players coming up, watching minor teams playing on their own, the minor championship, that's just where they want to be, playing county championship football with their club. On a personal level, I'd like to thank everyone who wished me well, myself and Dan well, through text messages, Facebook and whatnot throughout the week, before the game and after. So thanks. I'd like to thank everyone who came here today. Arriving on the bus there was some feeling with that cup, just watching everyone cheering. So Thanks, lads. And lastly, I'd like to thank one man. Since we were about 6, when we started off up here, there's one man who's been involved with us all the way through, and that's Sean Corona. So can everyone give him a round of applause?
We won't be long more now. We'll have word now from Bonistore, Jack O'Connor.
Thank you very much. I'd love to tell you I have a speech prepared, but we had a long night, Sunday night, and a very long day and night yesterday, so I suppose we were a small bit scattered, but sure we'll do our best anyway. So my speech was written in the back of a receipt I got off my Hardwick about 5 minutes ago. But anyway, just a few brief words, and I just first of all want to refer to the man that was speaking last day, Liam. I suppose that the word you'd use to describe him is I was trying to think of an appropriate term for him. I suppose gentle giant would be the best way. I think Liam's attitude summed up the attitude that was among our group this year. He was the captain of the team from the start of the year. He didn't make the team in the beginning. He came on as a sub. Every day he came on, he made a massive contribution. He never dropped his head. His attitude was positive at all times. He started the Munster final in the middle of the field and played exceptionally well. He didn't start the next game, but came on at midfield against Kildare in the All-Ireland quarter-final. He came on at wing forward against Mayo and made a massive contribution in the All-Ireland semi-final. And still, you know, that man kept his head up and fought like a tiger in the last 3 or 4 weeks to nail down his spot, and he duly did in the final. So the point I'm making is that he could easily have got frustrated. You know, this was a big year for him being the captain of the team, but his attitude spread throughout the whole group. And in modern society, it's unusual to have people having an attitude like that, because it's the era of Mayfianism and everybody going it alone. So I have to thank you, Liam, for that. You were a tremendous ambassador for this team all the year, and your family should be proud of you. Thanks very much. And also to Dan, who shared the captaincy with you this year, and was a rock at the back for us all the year. And of course, it's not Dan's first All-Ireland medal this year. Dan had an All-Ireland medal won before we kicked off at all. So great year for you, Dan, personally. You won an All-Ireland with Gubnaton in Ballyvorley as well. So well done to you, along with Adam Murphy, another man I see behind my back. Well done to the two of you. For a relatively small club, I'm not saying you're a very small club, but you're competing against 2 big clubs in Killarney Town. We actually, at any one time, we had up to 6 players from this club inside training with us and whatever. And just off the top of my head, I'm not sure I'll get them all, but I see Evan Cronin down there in front of me and Michal Foley. They're 2 young lads who I'm certain will be in with us next year. They're under 17 this year. And we also had Shane Cronin for a good catch of the year, and also another guy, Timmy Huzzy. So for as I say, a smallish club, to have 6 players going involved with the Kerry Miners is a tremendous feat. And it shows the amount of work that's going on here. Timmy Fleming, who's a great man, you know, and has vast years of experience, and wore the Kerry jersey. Obviously is a huge influence at underage in this club. And I know Timmy's own son is involved here with the Miners as well. You know, the success that you have had, and the fact that Liam referred to you by it alone, the county championship, that's a massive thing for a club like this. And you've had to build this club from the bottom up, because nothing comes easy nowadays. There's lots of competition in this area. You're only a couple of miles from Killarney Town. There are a lot of distractions for young people, so there has to be ferociously hard and consistent work going on at ground level to produce what you're producing. So I think you should give yourselves a round of applause in the club. We've done ferocious work. this is a club with huge tradition. I mean, off the top of my head, and just looking around me there, I see 3 or 4 fellas that wore the county jersey in different eras. The likes of, I see Mick Gleeson over there. When I was growing up as a young fella, Mick was on that great team, you know, likes of my heroes when I was young were likes of Mick Gleeson, Liam Higgins, Dwyer O'Connell, those fellas. I'm giving away my age now, Johnny Cullity. That was my era. When I was growing up, they were my heroes. They were the lads I looked up to. Donny Sullivan, those fellas. I see Paddy O'Mahony down below in front of me there, a great man. You know, Paddy has, I suppose, a unique record of going through the 75 championship without conceding a goal. So I wish you well, Paddy. You're a great man. He became a bit of a celebrity in his own right this year as well on national television, and I hope things are going well for you, Paddy. I wish you well. And actually, I'm not sure now if Donny Sullivan's around this evening, but I played myself in Croke Park, believe it or not, when I was a youngster with Kelly Texan. Donny was our coach, and I learned a lot from him. A great man. Had a very simple philosophy on football, but very sensible man and a great man. And my memories of Donny when I was a young fella was kicking frees off the ground. Lads have almost forgotten what it's like to kick frees off the ground. And that was with the old leather ball. An evening like this now with a bit of dew on the ground, they'd be finding heavy by the time they ended the game. But Donny could drive that ball an incredible distance. He had savage power in his legs, so a great man. I see another man down in front of me there that I was involved with back when I got involved with Kerry in 04. The man with the biggest hands, I'd say, in Kerry, if not Ireland, John Kelly. So nice to see you, John. And also, of course, Mike McCullough from another generation, also wore the Kerry jerseys. Good to see you as well, Mike. But John was our masseur, and what a pair of hands he had. He was digging those thumbs into the lads' ties, and fair play, John, but you got a lot of knots out of a lot of fellas' ties down through the years. Fair play to you. I'm ramashing away as usual, but there's one or two other fellas that I just want to acknowledge. One of them spoke there earlier. John Gallivan, who's the vice chairman of the county board, and John O'Leary, who's the PRO from this club. So it just tells you, not only have you players, you have administrators, and you have great people in this club. So you can see from right throughout the club, this is a very solid unit. And in many ways, it reminds me of my own club down in Drummond Pearson. It's amazing what you can achieve in a small club. You don't have to be a massive club with massive resources. I mean, there's clubs in this country that have such numbers and such resources. It's incredible. I was up in Dublin there watching one of the I think it was the All-Ireland quarter-final, trying to keep an eye on the opposition. And I met him, one of the mayors, one of the stewards in Croke Park. Myself and Michal Shea were talking to him. I think he was from, was it Nafian or one of those clubs, Michal? He told me there was 101 teams in the club. Can you imagine that? From top to bottom, boys and girls, men and women, 101 teams in the club. So that'll tell you the size of clubs around the country compared to a club like this. But my own club down in South Kerry, Drummond Pearsons, was a small club. Everybody had to work in that club. Everybody, because you had no choice. And some fellas had to double job and triple job. And I'm certain that's the way it is in this club too. And I can see the fervour and the passion among you there. And it's no wonder you're having success. And it's a very proud evening for you. And you should be proud of yourself for the work you've done. So I give yourselves a vote of that. And just finishing on that team of small clubs, the last All-Ireland success I was involved in was when we brought back to Sam Maguire in 2009 back to Glenbeigh. And in many ways, you know, this tradition of, you know, captain coming from county championship winning clubs or whatever, or county championship winning areas, you know, that's been tossed around and debated up and down the county. But like this is the big kudos for it. This is the big, I suppose, plus for the cup to come back to a small club like this, for the Sam Maguire to go to a small club like Clembe. I mean, that would never happen in another county, and that's the big plus of that system. I'm about to forget somebody, but before I finish up, I just want to thank the group of lads that were involved with me this year. The backroom team there, Michal O'Shea, my old buddy from Kalash Mishkediga, we won the Hogan Cup together in 09, and thankfully, we're 2 out of 2, Michal, so we'll have to keep at it. Eamon Whelan, a great man from St. Senans and a county board administrator as well as a selector. The only thing about Eamon is I'm just wondering where he gets the time from, because that man is either coming from work, going to work, coming from a meeting, or going to a meeting. I have no idea how his long-suffering wife puts up with him, but by God, he has some shift put in for Kerry football. So, thank you very much, Eamon. John Gallivan. John, I'd say, is a man who could rightfully say that he could manage his team himself. He has years of experience, won county championships down through the years at minor level, and won one down in South Kerry in my own country, and that wasn't easy, like, for a Crokes man to go down to South Kerry and win a county championship. That took a bit of doing. So he mightn't be the most popular man in Crokes for a while, but to be fair to him, he showed great neck and great battle and great character to do that. So thanks very much, John, for your contribution this year. And to all the other people involved, I see Kieran Shea up there, Jack Rossson, he was our physio this year, and we had 30 players tagged out in Croke Park last Sunday, and that was a fair testament to him to get everybody fit and ready for action. So thanks very much, Kieran. And to the other two men with me in the management, Alan O'Sullivan from Tralee and Arthur Fitzgerald, and they had the boys in serious shape, and it worked out brilliantly. People might say, what was the point in having 2 physical trainers? We needed it, because this year we decided that we would have the conditioning and the weights in regional areas rather than, to cut down the travel. So Arthur covered the Killarney, Mid-Kerry, Kinnair area, and Alan covered the Tralee, North Kerry area. So that worked out very well, and they had the boys in fantastic shape. And I tell you, we needed every bit of it. I looked at the match this morning and I went home a bit bleary-eyed, but I watched it, and I tell you something, it took every ounce of energy out of those lads to bring us across the line yesterday, because that was a right good Donegal team. That team wasn't beaten for 3 years, and that was their first defeat since they were under 15, so it took a monumental effort for us to get over the line. So thanks very much to Arthur and Alan for the shape. And to the lads themselves, what a credit they were to Kerry. I mean, sometimes you throw out these cliches about fellas behaving themselves and all the rest of it. From the start of the year, we set out our stall that we'd have good standards this year. We'd have good standards on the field and off the field. We'd no sending off, we'd very few bookings, we had no incident of any sort, high up or low down, that would besmirch the name of Kerry football. I think they're tremendous ambassadors for the jersey, and the way they behave themselves in the lead up to the game, during the game and after the game is a credit to their families and to their clubs. So I want to thank the lads themselves for the way they handle themselves, and I'm certain, absolutely certain, that a lot of you guys will go on to wear under 21 and senior jerseys. So thanks very much, guys. And just one last point to finish on. You were saying to yourself, when the Christ has he all that written down? But it might have helped the fact, maybe when I was saying about how the lads behaved and handled themselves, I suppose maybe it comes a bit naturally to the teachers in the group, like myself and Michal Shea, to be stern and try and keep control and all the rest of it. But behind it all, lads, even though we gave out to you a few times and we were a bit dour and maybe a bit too serious, that's the way, Kerry football has traditions down through the years, and traditions they have to uphold. And we spoke to them about that. Eamon Whelan often spoke to them about that, and the boys took it on board, took it very seriously. But there was a third teacher in our group that I have to special tribute to. He was like the odd Voshler in our setup, and he's over here on my right, Christy Killeen. What a man! Come over here, Christy, boy. Come over here a minute. Christy, come over here. I have to say that this man, not alone he kept control of the players and everything, he kept control of us as well. And I really looked up to him, and that's a fact. He was like the father figure in our group. He was a tremendous man to have on our side. And he set the standards. And he gave the lads advice, and he told them this is the way you have to handle yourself as a Kerry player. So Christy, it was an absolute dream that we managed to bring back that cup. And for you more than anyone, I'm delighted. Thanks, Christy. And we'll just finish off with Christy saying one word, and I thank you for your patience. That was supposed to be a 3-minute speech, and it probably was 20, but thank you very much.
Jack said one word. Can I say 10? Just simply to say that I'm delighted to be here, and more especially delighted to be associated with this group, both the management and the players. For me, at the beginning of the year, I know nothing about it, it was all new to me. I gradually grew into it. I saw it as a massive challenge, but as the year went on, I was learning, and I was being taught as well. And come this weekend, a lot of hard work, a lot of effort, but it has turned out to be a tremendous year. Tremendous experience for me, because I was the link between the county board and the management and players. And I must say it was a real pleasure to deal with it. And not to be repeating a lot of the stuff that has been already said, but I want to sincerely and publicly compliment the group of players, the 30 players, maybe the 35 players throughout the year, for their dedication, their response, their attitude, and for their behaviour, both on and off the field. Being in a classroom for many, many years and dealing with youth and exuberance of youth and so on, I must say this group of the minors were exemplary, and I repeat that at all stages. Over the weekend, yesterday, last night, I was very testing on their endurance in terms of tiredness and so on, and to a man, a young man at that, they were exemplary, and I publicly thank them for that. I also take the opportunity now, on behalf of the Costa Kerry County Board, to thank the management, Jack and his management team, for their dedication, that hard work throughout the year. And again, it goes without saying, all this achievement didn't just happen. It was basically made happen through sheer dedication, hard work, through a lot of wet evenings, cold evenings, dark nights, and so on. So a lot of hard work has gone in behind the scenes. So it's lovely that it has ended like this, and credit to everybody involved. Without further ado, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Christy, for those words, and thanks, Jack, for your 20 minutes. You had our full attention, and we could listen to you for another 20, which is a reflection, I suppose, on the level that Jack is just not alone in the county. He's held in high esteem, but all over the country. And thanks, Jack. And we wish you all the success with this party. Patrick O'Sullivan is after joining us. Patrick is he'll be running into the Crokes celebrations, but he just addresses for one brief moment, please. Thank you, Patrick.
Thanks, Joe. I won't repeat what everybody just said, but I won't be 20 minutes like Jack anyway, trust me. First of all, like Joe Galvin and Christy said, and Jack, this is about the minor team that was put together under Jack O'Connor's watch. I'd like to thank Jack and the management team for what they've done for all the clubs in Kerry, and especially for myself, trust me, and also to the minor players for the work they've put in over the last 12 months. As you're well aware that while you're playing matches at minor levels, the hardest one, because you have to bring everyone together to try to pick out the right mix for a team, and this minor selection has been the best we had in 20 years, and that was resulted on on Sunday's victory. I just want to give a special thanks to John O'Leary, and like George Galvin said, the work that he put in over the last couple of weeks leading up to his first All-Ireland as PRO was immense. Also to George Galvin for all the work that he does and doesn't get the credit he deserves for it. I just want to thank both of them here publicly. I just want to thank my fellow officers, and there's two of them who were involved in the minor team. One was Christy. Like he said, it was his first time being involved with the team, and like he said, he learned as he was going on, so he'll be a lot wiser for next year. And also to Eamon Whelan, like Jack says, for the time and effort he puts in within coaching, as coaching officer, and also as a minor selector. And he's also on the CCC, so all the fixtures. So I'd just like to thank them. Also, I see on my right hand side is Wisha Lynch, the treasurer, who was gathering the money for the last 3 or 4 weeks to pay for everything. So I'd like to thank him also. Like I said, I won't say too much, but like when you come up to your own club and you go on about sizes of clubs and everything, the SPA have produced some of the greatest players to wear the Kerry jersey, and like Jack was saying, like Mike McAuliffe, I see Timmy Fleming who's here now. You have Pat O'Connor, or is it? Sorry. Outside there, you have Mick Gleeson. Who else am I missing now? Paddy Manny. I mean, it's great. I mean, it's been Pat Cronin. Sorry, it's Pat O'Connor. I mean, I think Pat was on the minor team in '75, if I'm correct. Am I correct, Pat? 77. Okay, I wasn't sure. So look, I just want to thank you on behalf of the board, and look, hopefully now this time next year we'll be coming back again, celebrating, and hopefully, and I wish you all the best. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Patrick. I'll just get, before we finish, there's the game is being shown upstairs, and there's a bit of food and things like that for anybody who wants to get up there, and I'm sure the boys might be hungry. I'll get Liam to introduce the team to you before he goes, okay?
Start off with Shane Ryan in goals. Dan Donoghue here behind me. Ryan Shipper. Killian Spillane. Stephen Sullivan. Ryan Salvador. Gavin White. Jason Fowler. Aaron Murphy. And last but not least, Jordan Tyler. Can I say one more thing? I'd like to say happy birthday to Niall McCarthy.
I think that about wraps up everything. You've extended it long enough. Thanks to the lads for coming, and thanks to Jack for saying his few words. So we just want to take a photograph, or 1 or 2 photographs before we go. Thanks very much. Okay. There are plates, 14 KY Sam plates available here.